गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यामुनतीरावनचारी यामुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यामुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 20, entitled The Rainy Season and Autumn in Vrindavana. Text 16 and 17. So 16 has no purport. We'll read 16 and then we'll continue with 17. Text 16. Marga babhuv sandigdas तृणैश्चन्नाह्य संस्कृताः नाभ्यस्यमाना श्रुतयो द्विजैः कालेन चाहताः. Translation. During the rainy season, the roads, not being cleansed, became covered with grass and debris, and were thus difficult to make out. These roads were like religious scriptures that Brahmanas no longer study, and that thus become corrupted and covered over with the passage of time. Text 17. Please repeat. Loka bandhushu megeshu vidyutah chala sauhradaha stairyam na chakruhu kaminyah purusheshu gunishu iva lokabandhushu megeshu vidyutaschala sauhradaha stairyam na chakru kaminya स्थैर्यं न चक्रुः कामिन्य पुरुषेषु गुणीष्विव पुरुषेषु गुणीष्विव लोकबन्धुषु मेघेषु विद्युतश्चलसौहृदाः स्थैर्यं न चक्रुः कामिन्य पुरुषेषु गुणीष्विव लोकबन्धुषु मेघेषु विद्युतश्चलसौहृदाः स्थैर्यं न चक्रुः कामिन्य पुरुषेषु गुणीष्विव लोकबन्धुषु मेघेषु लोकबन्धुषु मेघेषु विद्युतश्चलसौहृदाः स्थैर्यं न चक्रुः कामिन्य पुरुषेषु गुणीष्विव लोकबन्धुषु मेघेषु विद्युतश्चलसौहृदाः स्थैर्यं न चक्रुः कामिन्य पुरुषेषु गुणीष्विव Mataji, लोकबन्धुषु मेघेषु विद्युतश्चलसौहृदाः स्थैर्यं न चक्रुः कामिन्य पुरुषेषु गुणीष्विव Loka of all the world, Bandhushu, who are the friends, Megheshu, among the clouds, Vidyutaha, the lightning, Chala Sauhridaha, fickle in their friendship, Stairyam, steadiness, Na Chakruhu, did not maintain, Kaminyaha, lusty woman, Purusheshu, among men, Gunishu, who are virtuous, Iva, as. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: though the clouds are the well-wishing friends of all living beings, the lightning, fickle in its affinities, moved from one group of clouds to another, like lusty women, unfaithful even to virtuous men. Purport. Srila Prabhupada comments, during the rainy season, lightning appears in one group of clouds and then immediately in another group of clouds. This phenomenon is compared to a lusty woman who does not fix her mind on one man. A cloud is compared to a qualified person because it pours rain and gives sustenance to many people. A man who is qualified similarly gives sustenance to many living creatures, such as family members or many workers in business. Unfortunately, his whole life can be disturbed by a wife who divorces him. When the husband is disturbed, the whole family is ruined. The children are dispersed or the business is closed and everything is affected. It is therefore recommended that a woman desiring to advance in Krishna consciousness peacefully live with a husband and that the couple not separate under any condition. The husband and wife should control sex indulgence and concentrate their minds on Krishna consciousness. so their life may be successful. After all, in the material world, a man requires a woman and a woman requires a man. When they are combined, they should live peacefully in Krishna consciousness and should not be restless like the lightning flashing from one group of clouds to another. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Loka bandhushu megeshu vidyutaschala sauhridaha stairyam na chakru kaminya purusheshu gunishviva. Translation: though the clouds are the well-wishing friends of all living beings, the lightning fickle in its affinities, moved from one group of clouds to another like lusty woman, unfaithful even to virtuous man. Hare Krishna. So in text 16, Prabhupada has given commentary in the light of Bhagavatam as well as in Krishna book. So we will discuss from that and then we will move on to the text 17. So purport from Krishna book, Prabhupada writes, in the rainy season, some of the roads are not frequently used and they become covered with long grasses. These roads are exactly like a Brahmana who is not accustomed to studying and practicing the reformatory methods of Vedic injunctions. He becomes covered with the long grasses of Maya. In that condition, forgetful of his constitutional nature, he forgets his position of eternal servitorship to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By being deviated by the seasonal overgrowth of long grasses created by Maya, a person identifies himself with the Mayic production and succumbs to illusion, forgetting his real spiritual life. So here in this verse, it's mentioned that three things are mentioned in this verse. One is the road and the grasses and the season. So the road, Marga, it is mentioned as the Shastra. Shastra is a path, so through the path we can attain the goal. The goal is Krishna. And the grasses is compared to the deviation, negligence and the forgetfulness of our constitutional position. So this resulting in confusion, misinterpretation. So here in this chapter, it is analytically, poetically explains the influence of Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, in the translation it is mentioned, these roads were like religious scriptures that Brahmanas no longer study and that thus become corrupted and covered over with the passage of time. So the grasses covered the road. So it is not that the Vedic knowledge is covered. The Vedic knowledge is eternal. It never becomes false. It never becomes covered. So here the covered in the sense, the conditioned living entities will not have access to that knowledge. So because of this covering, covering of Maya, illusion, forgetting our original position as a servant of Krishna, so the knowledge is not revealed. So in Bhagavatam it is mentioned that Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Upadrataha. In Kali Yuga, people are lazy and dull-headed, Manda Bhagya Upadrataha, always disturbed. So in this condition, we cannot understand spiritual knowledge. There is a laziness to understand spiritual knowledge. They neglect Shastra. So why? Because we forget our constitutional position as a servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. So why we forget? In Bhagavatam it is mentioned that Bhayam Dvitiya Biniveshatah Syat Ishat Apetasya Viparyayo Smritihi. Viparyayo Smritihi. Here Viparyaya means misidentification. Asmritihi, forgetfulness. So we are identifying ourselves with this material body and we are thinking this is me. So because of this identification, Viparyayo Smritihi, we forget our constitutional position. Ishat Apetasya Viparyayo Smritihi. So because of that, we think there is something else, something other than Krishna. Dvitiya Biniveshatah Syat. There is something else, there is a second. So Prabhupada mentions that the absolute truth is one without a second. So there is no second. So he is one all the time, eternally. So when we think there is something greater than Krishna, something other than Krishna, so we tend to forget our constitutional nature, constitutional position as a servant of Krishna. So here in the purport, Sridhara Swami, he raises one objection. So he mentions that since fear is caused by ignorance, it can be dispelled by knowledge and there is no need to worship the Supreme Lord. So here it is mentioned that ignorance can be dispelled by knowledge. So in Bhagavad Gita, one of the purport, Prabhupada mentions that ignorance leads to bondage and knowledge leads to liberation. So when we are in ignorance, we forget our constitutional position and we misidentify ourselves as this body and we misidentify ourselves as an enjoyer, as a master. So this ignorance can be dispelled by knowledge. So we just have to understand knowledge, the why we have to worship the Supreme Lord. That is not required. So this is the objection raised. So in the purport, it is continued. The living entity falsely identifies with his material body, family, society, and so on, and he simply has to give up this false identification. Then what will Maya be able to do? So when we give up this false identification, we are not in Maya. We came to knowledge, so then we are not in ignorance. So that is enough, right? Then why we have to worship the Supreme Lord? So as per our constitutional position, we are meant to serve Krishna. So till we come to that level, whatever knowledge we get, that is not sufficient. So even Mayavadi philosophers, they understand that we are not this body, we are soul. But that is a preliminary knowledge. So when we come out of this misidentification, that is not sufficient in itself. So we have to worship the Supreme Lord, we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord. So like Prabhupada gives one example that the constitutional position of sugar is sweetness. So when we remove sweetness from sugar, we cannot call it as sugar. So in that way, we are, as a soul, we are servant of Krishna. That is the constitutional position of a soul. So it is not that we just have to come out of this misidentification. We should identify ourselves as soul. That is a preliminary knowledge. So that knowledge cannot help a soul to come to knowledge. The real knowledge is to understand that we are servant of Krishna. That is our constitutional position. So in Bhagavad Gita, in the purport, disciples of Prabhupada, he mentions this verse, Daivi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durataya Mam Evaye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. So the divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So in this way only we can come out of the ignorance. So it is not that I'll understand knowledge, spiritual knowledge, I will come out of ignorance. It's not like this. So this is spiritual knowledge. This is not a mundane material knowledge. Any scholarly person, any knowledgeable person cannot come out of ignorance. So when we surrender to Krishna, by the mercy of Krishna, we understand this knowledge. So in that way, Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that Sakalene Hamahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa. So in due course of time, the original system, this knowledge was lost. So as we mentioned previously, this knowledge is never lost. It is eternal knowledge. So this is lost in the sense because of the conditioned nature, this conditioned souls, they don't have access to this knowledge because of deviations, because of negligence. So it is not practiced purely. So it is unpracticed. So there is a grass path is there. So when many people are walking on the same path, so there is a path created. So when they stopped walking, then the grass grows and the path is automatically covered. So now the path is there, but people are not practicing purely. When it is unpracticed, then automatically it is covered by grass. So there is a negligence of Shastra. So that's why the Sampradaya is there. So the literal meaning of Sampradaya is Sampradaya. Pradaya. Sam means complete. Pradaya means giving. So the complete knowledge is given. It is passed on from guru to disciple. So Prabhupada gives one example that from a mango tree, if you just throw the mango from top to down, it just spoils. So it is passed on from hand to hand. So one guru gives to disciple and he becomes guru, and again he gives to his disciple. So this message is passed on very carefully. So that's why it is called Sampradaya. The complete knowledge is given as it is, without any adulteration, without any misinterpretation. So it is the question comes that when a disciple gets knowledge from a guru, he should present this knowledge as it is, without adulteration. So here the question comes, can the disciple become more learned than guru? So in one of the lecture, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj mentions that it can be, and in one way we can say it should be, because when the disciple is less learned than a guru, then it declines, then it degrades. So then the parampara will not grow, the sampradaya will not grow. Then at some point, it degrades, and at some point, it just vanishes. So a disciple should get knowledge from guru, and he should pass on the message as it is with his added realizations. So when with realization the disciple presents the message without changing the message, so then the knowledge is complete. So that is the role of a guru, to present the message, and when there is a deviation, and he should correct the deviation. So in one of the magazine, I don't remember the name, so where Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he establishes Namahata, and then he assigns 20 roles for the devotees. There are many roles. One is a seller, a salesman, one is a broker, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself, he takes the role of a sweeper. So why? Because that is the role of an acharya, that is the role of a guru, that what sweeper does, when there is a dirt, when there is unwanted things, he removes all this and he makes the path clear. So in that way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself, he takes the role of a sweeper. So when there is a deviation, when there is a misinterpretation, so then the knowledge is not passed on as it is, then he corrects. So he takes the role of a sweeper. So that's why now in the movement, when they preach, they always eager to create some new ideas, new ideas of preaching, new way of preaching the message. So the new method will not work. So the acharyas, the previous acharyas and Prabhupada, they have given the system. So when we follow the system, automatically we achieve the result. So when we create our own ideas, new ideas, speculated ideas, so then it will not lead anywhere. So in one of the lecture, it is mentioned that the lecture is the same old process. So there it is mentioned that the purity is the force. So now in many discussions they discuss how to preach this message, how to distribute books, the book distribution techniques, they use this term. So then Maharaj mentions that there is no technique required. Even they particularly mentions that the 108 ways of distributing Srimad Bhagavatam. So 108 ways means these are different techniques. So more than the techniques, the purity is required. So in that lecture, Maharaj mentions that the process we have to follow. Every day raising up for Mangalarati, chanting 16 rounds without offenses, following the 4 regulatory principles, engaging in devotional service of the Lord with full sincerity. So in that way, when we follow the process sincerely, then we achieve the result. So the same old process, though we don't have to concoct new way of preaching, new way of distributing books. So book distribution technique means we don't have to think about what we should speak, how we can convince them. These things are not required. So when we follow the process, when we stick to the standards, then automatically book goes. So this is based on purity. This is not based on the techniques. So in that way, here in the translation it is mentioned, these roads were like religious scriptures that Brahmanas no longer study, and that thus become corrupted and covered over the passage of time. So it is corrupted because they forget their constitutional position, that they are servant of Krishna. So then this knowledge is not revealed to them. So it is not that by I study and I understand, it's not like this. So when we are forgetful of Krishna, then the knowledge is not revealed. So now we will move on to the next verse. So here in the translation it is mentioned, though the clouds are the well-wishing friends of all living beings, the lightning, fickle in its affinities, moved from one group of clouds to another, like lusty woman, unfaithful even to the virtuous man. So here the chastity of woman is mentioned. So in Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, it is mentioned that Strishu Dushtashu Varneshya Jayate Varna Sankarha. Strishu by the womanhood, Dushtashu by being polluted. When the women are polluted, then there is a disturbance in the society. So then they create unwanted population. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions that this is the translation, when irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. So purport, good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashrama religion principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in society for the general spiritual progress of state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. So the spiritual progress of a state, of community, even the family, it depends on the chastity of womanhood. When they lose the chastity, then it creates chaos in the society, in the family. So then Prabhupada continues, as children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. So here we see there are many children running around. So during the class we say we have a separate class for children, because they disturb. So we have a separate. So we have to take care of them. We have to control them. So in that way, women are prone to degrade. They are easily, we can manipulate them. So in that way, there is no position given to women. They are not put as leaders. So they are not in management, because they are prone to degrade. So they cannot come to that level that control. Management means controlling people. So they cannot do that, because they themselves need someone should control them. So in that way, now in the movement, so they are put as leaders, they are put as temple presidents. So in that way, it's this will degrade the society. So from Shastra, we understand that they are nature. So they are meant to be controlled. So control in the sense people take it differently. Control in the sense we are not trying to control them and we want to be the controller. It is not like this. So from the Shastras we understand the level of the woman. They are like children. So we don't give control to children, because we know how they behave. So in that way, the women are not given the control. They are not in management. Now, even to that extreme, that they are even trying to be a guru, like this. So this is all not allowed in the Shastras. It is not allowed in the sense it is not to put them down. It is not like this. So from the Shastra we understand that the level of woman is not to be guru, not to be the leader. So it is for their benefit. It is not to control. So then many say that this is as per the principle of Varnashrama. But they say we don't have to follow Varnashrama. We are devotees. We are Krishna conscious. So Krishna conscious, we are in Krishna consciousness in the sense it is not that we just join the society, Krishna conscious society, and then we become Krishna conscious. It is not like this. So we are still under the control of Maya. We are still under the control of modes. So then we cannot just claim ourselves that we are we are Krishna conscious. We don't need this. So this is not allowed. So we don't have to follow Varnashrama. They say that is they say there are many devotees, highly elevated devotees. For example, Vamshidas Babaji, he didn't follow Varnashrama. So he is highly advanced devotee. He is a transcendental person. So even in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned Rishabhadeva. He was a Avaduta. So he didn't follow Varnashrama. So then in that section, it is mentioned that because Lord Rishabhadeva remained in that condition, the public did not disturb him, but no bad aroma emanated from his stool and urine. Quite the contrary, his stool and urine were so aromatic that they filled 80 miles of the countryside with the pleasant fragrance. So here it is mentioned they are all transcendental. They are not possess this material body like us. So they behave like this. They are transcendental. They are avadutas. We don't have to imitate them. So as a conditioned soul, we are under the control of Maya. So now there is a process given to us. So we have to follow, and with that we can elevate ourselves. We can come to that level. So before that, immaturely, we cannot think that, no, this is not required. No, we are devotees. So here, the chastity is mentioned. Regarding this, in the purport, Prabhupada continues in the first chapter. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandita, women are gradually not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to a good population eligible for participating in the Varnashrama system. On the failure of such Varnashrama dharma, naturally the woman becomes free to act and mix with men, and thus adultery is indulged in at the risk of unwanted population. So this is a chaos in the society. So when the women are not protected, then it leads to unwanted population. So Prabhupada mentions that when a woman is a child, young girl, she should be protected by father, and when she grown up, she should be protected by husband, and when she is elderly, she should be protected by a elder son. So always they need protection. They cannot be independent. They cannot. It is not possible for them. It is not their nature. There is one interview where Prabhupada speaks that why they can't be equal. So how they can be equal? The woman only can give birth to a child, but man cannot do this. They are not equal. So in that way, the Varnashrama dharma, it stresses that woman needs protection. They are not independent. So by not doing this, it's a chaos in the society. It produces unwanted population. So here there are some sections from different books. So there it's a conversation between Bhakti Vikasa Swami and Narmada Swami. So Bhakti Vikasa Swami asks, you have told us about the training for the different castes. What about the woman? Narmada Swami, women's training was first and foremost to be chaste and faithful to the husband, and to cook, clean, look after guests, care for children, and whatever else was required for a dedicated housewife. Extensive education for women was generally frowned upon, although higher caste women might learn to read and write. So Bhakti Vikasa Swami, cooking was very important for women. Girls learn from very young age how to cook nicely. So when they are engaged in these activities, naturally they are happy. So now artificially they are trying to happy. They want to study more and they want to be a pilot and so many things. But this naturally won't give them happiness. So in Varnashrama dharma, one cannot cheat. So what is your nature? If you act opposite to your nature, it is not possible. We cannot be happy. We cannot be satisfied. So when they are in their nature, when they are put in that nature, then automatically they are happy. That is their nature. So then it is stressed that they have to be trained in this way. They have to learn how to cook. They have to learn how to be chaste. So that is the first and foremost qualities they should learn. So here in the purport also, Prabhupada mentions at the end that when they are combined, they should live peacefully in Krishna consciousness and should not be restless like the lightning flashing from one group of clouds to another. So when they are not trained in these principles, then automatically, they are tend to mix with other women and they are not chaste. So now we see in the colleges, even we see the extreme case, women are smoking, and it's very worse. So because they are left independent, so they are given education and they are thinking that okay, we can be independent, we can do whatever we want. Now we are also working, we are also earning money, I can maintain my livelihood, why I have to submit to a person. So this free mixing and this modern education, so this is spoiling the society. So because of that, the society is not in peace. So the always disturbed condition. So in one purport from 6th canto, Prabhupada mentions that illicit sex is not possible with a chaste or aristocratic woman, but only with unchaste Shudras. The more society allows prostitution and illicit sex, the more impetus it gives to cheaters, thieves, plunderers, drunkards and gamblers. Therefore, we first advise all the disciples in our Krishna consciousness movement to avoid illicit sex, which is the beginning of all abominable life and which is followed by meat eating, gambling and intoxication one after another. Of course, restraint is very difficult, but it is quite possible if one fully surrenders to Krishna. Since all these abominable habits gradually become distasteful for a Krishna conscious person. If illicit sex is allowed to increase in society, however, the entire society will be condemned, for it will be full of rogues, thieves, cheaters and so forth. So here Prabhupada mentions that this illicit sex, it is not possible with a chaste woman, aristocratic woman. Chaste women in the sense they are trained from the young age. They are trained from the young age with the principles, their chastity, according to Varnashrama principles. So when this training is not given, then the illicit sex, and then it leads to it leads allowance to thieves, rogues, and plunderers, gamblers. So this is a disturbance in the society. So chastity is not only for women. So in material sense, if we see women, men are there. So women are required chastity, they have to be chaste. So then in spiritual sense, if we see, we all are Prakriti. So our position is to serve Krishna. Our position is to be chaste to Krishna. So then we have to be in our constitutional position as a servant of Krishna. Then we maintain our chastity to Krishna. So once we went to a hospital, it's a devotee initiated. So then in his hospital we see Ganesh picture. So then we asked why it is like this. Yeah, of course we are devotees, we are chanting and we are following all this. But still, we are doing some business. But still, this is all required. From the young age, we follow all these things. We cannot leave. So, as a devotees, as a servants of Krishna, we have to maintain the chastity. So we have to worship Krishna. So we can respect all the demigods, but the worship is only for Krishna. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasabhabritya. So only master is Krishna, and we have to worship Krishna. So in that way, we have to be chaste to Krishna, and moreover that we have to be chaste to Guru and devotees. So it's a commitment. So when we think about how we were before coming to Krishna consciousness, what were our practices, so it was completely opposite of what we are now. So then devotees, they trained us, they gave this knowledge, they purified us. So we have to be chaste. So when after getting all this, so when so-called purity we get, immediately we think that okay, I'm independent now, then they blaspheme devotees, who trained us, who purified us. So this is unchaste. So as a chaste devotee, we have to be faithful to devotees, faithful to Guru, and faithful to Krishna. We have to maintain this chastity. So in that way, there is a peace. So then we can be happy, we can grow in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it's a disturbance. So even when we do, but the guilt will be there when we are not chaste. So that won't allow us to be happy. That won't allow us to progress in Krishna consciousness. That is a stumbling block in the growth of Krishna consciousness. So these things we should avoid. So then we can progress in Krishna consciousness. So Hare Krishna. Any comments, questions? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.